Hi there! Today I want to share with you a few options for how you might set up your Exemplars lessons in Google Classroom. You could also set up your lessons and materials similarly in other LMS systems such as Schoology or Canvas. Be sure to access the folder of resources shown here via the Exemplars blog or the Exemplars library in the Tools for Success section. Opening each of the subfolders will allow you to view lesson plans, copy slide decks to use in your own class, and see examples of student work. One possible way to format your Exemplars lesson is to break it down into small pieces for students to complete each day. We are calling this the Problem of the Week Visited Daily structure. Because the Exemplars problem-solving procedure has 5 sections, it provides a clear step for students to take if you or they have a limited amount of time set aside for Exemplars each day. Students may also choose to consolidate their work into a longer period of time. There's no one right way to do this, so play around and find out what works best for you. One thing we know is that breaking down larger activities into manageable pieces is especially helpful for students during periods of remote learning. In Google Classroom, we numbered each of the lessons so students would know what to do first, second, third, etc. You could also title these with days of the week. The start of the cycle could be Monday, but depending on your schedule, maybe it makes sense to start on a Wednesday and give yourself the weekend to look over student work in advance of the review portion of the lesson. The first piece of this lesson is the Understand portion of the problem-solving procedure. If you can meet in person or via Zoom to launch the task with your class, that's a great way to get started. We like using the 3 read strategy here because it helps students focus their attention on only part of the problem and hear it out loud multiple times. If you can't do this piece in person, you could record yourself going through the 3 reads process and embed that in your slides for the day. The folder for this lesson provides a slide template you might like to use for the 3 reads process, as well as the slides that outline this 5-day lesson cycle. Feel free to make a copy of either of these and reuse it again in your own classroom. At the Understand step, your student's job is to write down a problem statement, identifying what question they have to answer. You might provide a shared space for students to respond using Google Slides, Docs, or Jamboard, or ask students to respond to the assignment individually and privately, perhaps using their own Google Slides workspace or a Google form set up for this purpose. Check out some possible response types in the Problem of the Week Student Work slide deck. In the Think portion of the lesson, students will brainstorm all of the tools and strategies they could use to solve the problem. Maybe someone thinks they might create a table, while another student plans to use a number line. Jamboard is a great tool to allow students to collaboratively brainstorm. Seeing what strategies others plan to use is a valuable part of the problem-solving process, so we encourage this portion to be done collaboratively. In the Solve portion of the lesson, students will work independently using their chosen strategy to come up with an answer to the task. Remember, an answer is different than a solution. Here, students might use a PDF annotating tool like Kami, a dynamic workspace like Google Slides, or a virtual manipulative tool like Braining Camp to craft their solutions. Whatever they choose, they should send to you, the teacher, in advance of the next class period. The next time you meet as a class will be an opportunity for students to view multiple strategies, confirm that their answers are correct, and maybe make some mathematical connections. Moving on to the review portion of the procedure, students will work independently and use the prompts and the Exemplars rubric as a guide to make sure their solution is complete. They may add to their model with text or a video or audio recording. Any work they completed previously should be included here so that they can hand in a fully completed solution at this stage. Though connections is the 5th part of the problem-solving procedure, these observations may have been coming up throughout the entire process. Students should be sure to make mathematically relevant connections within their solution to meet the standard on the Exemplars rubric. In the next video, we'll share how to break down the problem-solving process using the 5 E's of inquiry.